Making news this week, Family First Party denied they are silencing Henry Heng.
Colin Barnett reversed the solar rebate slash after a huge public backlash.
Perth-based Yong attempts to break the mould by running for Perth City Council.
And a local forum in Hong Kong turned nasty when demonstrators clashed outside a venue.
This is the Evening News with Ivan Leung and Danielle Staniskov.
Good evening. Family First Party federal candidate Linda Rose is denying reports that the party has tried to silence its popular candidate Henry Heng. To discuss this issue, I've caught up with Ms. Rose early this week. Linda Rose, welcome to Evening News.
Thank you, Ivan.
Have the party attempted to silence Henry Heng?
No, we've not attempted to silence Henry Heng. In the beginning, initially when that YouTube clip was made, we decided that we wouldn't go down that path because that was a state campaign. However, with the press jumping on the bandwagon again and wanting to use the YouTube clip and of course vote for Henry, well, we might as well just go for the ride.
During the report, it was quoted, you said, "He's number 2 on my ticket, he's just there to put me past the line."
Well, that's not exactly what I said. And let me just point out, WA Today, I was not aware that I was being interviewed for an article. When I received the phone call from WA Today, they asked me if they could interview Henry, and I said, no, we're not going to be going down that path. We're not going to be using the YouTube. And I was unaware that I was actually being interviewed for an article that would go on WA Today. So that's something I've learned, and not having the experience with press, it's whether I am going to be quoted. When I quoted, it was not about Henry's there to just get me over the line. As you know, on the Senate ticket, you need a number 2 to be able to be above the line. If I was there on my own, I would be below the line. So it wasn't a case of just getting me over the line, it was a case of being above the line.
Is Henry still backing the party?
Yes, he is.
In what way?
Well, he's fully behind us in the Senate campaign, and when I approached him to run, I would have quite liked him to be on one of my lower house tickets because he would have made a great campaign in the seat of Perth. But you know that Henry's a businessman and is extremely busy right now. So I approached him again and said, would he consider running on the Senate ticket, and that he wouldn't have to put a great effort into a campaign, and he was quite happy to do that.
Linda Rose, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Ivan.
The state government has reversed its decision to slash the solar feed-in tariff early this week after a huge public outcry. The Labor opposition attempted to pressure the Barnett government to make public the legal advice it received. Martin Wilson reports.
Controversy with the solar rebate scheme, in which contracts were ripped up and then reinstated by the government, have returned to the limelight again, in response to a leaked document released by the State Solicitor's Office. The document regarding reductions to the scheme rate demonstrates the government was aware of the risks. The solar panel subsidy would be halved in an effort to save around $51 million over the next 4 years, going against the original 10-year contract. During question time, the opposition leader Mark McGowan questioned Mr. Barnett's honesty and integrity.
You said you received subsequent written advice. If you want to clear this issue up as to yours and the Premier's honesty and integrity, you will release that written promise, that written advice right now.
The advice that the State Solicitor had given to the government was consistent, that there is negligible legal risk with the decision that we faced, and indeed practically no risk whatsoever.
The scheme is flawed. It is fundamentally flawed. Every version of this scheme is flawed. And Mr. Speaker, we've got to accept responsibility for that.
The rebate scheme implemented in 2009 had been such an overwhelming success that in 2011 the government had paid $46 million more than anticipated. Martin Wilson, WAMN News.
Perth lawyer Yong has expressed his interest in contesting the City of Perth's council position during this year's local government election. Tonight, in an exclusive interview, Mr. Yong tells WAMN News why he wants to be an elected member for the Greater Perth public.
Because I have been in Perth for some time, about 10 years, and I want to be the voice for the people and to make a difference in the community. As a councillors has to attend monthly meeting, attend community functions, to read all the government documents, pass the policies. within this to benefit the community and the people. We can contribute our ideas, the law related, introducing policies, and of course it's a big decision to make. It will change my career, as in from law to the political career.
There's double the happiness for the Cockburn City Council after it won 2 awards within 7 days. They are the Water Conservation Award and the Google eTown Award for WA. Shibs has more.
The city of Cockburn has been conferred Western Australia's most web-savvy town by Google. Google's eTown Awards celebrate towns and cities whose small businesses make best use of the web to connect with customers and grow. Cockburn Mayor Logan Howlett expressed his delight, describing Cockburn as a world-class city whose businesses are now being recognised on a global scale.
Obviously, Cockburn's popped up as the location where, in Western Australia, there's more online business activity, sales, promotion, opportunities than anywhere else in Western Australia.
At the same time, the city of Cockburn was also officially named a Water-Wise Council for their water conservation practices. Cockburn households has saved 800,000 litres of water a year so far and is expected to exceed 1 million litres thanks to the city's free home and energy audits.
It's an important message to send to our community because Australia obviously has climate change impacts. The amount of rainfall, particularly in Western Australia, has been significantly reduced, and there's a need for everyone just to look at how they use their water and how they can reduce consumption.
Shibs, WAMN News.
According to the latest Roy Morgan poll, supports for the Prime Minister Kevin Rudd has been dropping. A telephone poll conducted after the leaders' debate on Sunday night revealed that 46% of electors believed Kevin Rudd will be a better Prime Minister, with Tony Abbott lagging behind by just 3%. On the two-party preferred votes, the coalition had 57%, while Labor had 43%. Looking at the primary votes, the coalition is also leading with 52%, while Labor had 31%. The Greens had 9%, while the Independents are down to 8%.
To our World Report, 18 Indian naval officers have died after their submarine exploded at a naval base in Mumbai. Amateur videos show huge fireballs lighting up the sky during the blaze on the early morning of Wednesday. According to the local media, the 16-year-old INS Sindhurashak recently returned from Russia after undergoing a major upgrade. And scuffles broke out between pro and anti-government demonstrators outside a venue in Hong Kong. A 12-year-old child from the pro-government camp claimed that he was attacked during a media interview. Chief Executive C.Y. Leung later attended the forum to listen to public opinion. Meanwhile, the police said they have arrested 4 people during the physical clash.
And that's how the world looks tonight. More news on our website.
We'll be back next week with another edition. Good evening.
Good night.